Hey guys, today we are getting into a continuation from our 2.1 2.3 notes that we did, talking about deductive reasoning and specific types of deductive reasoning. So we're going to learn about two different laws of logic. Remember when we talked about before, deductive reasoning uses facts and definitions. To make a conclusion. So, two different laws of logic that we have. One is the law of detachment. The law of detachment says if the hypothesis of a true conditional statement is true, then the conclusion is also true. The law of syllogism is three different statements. And so these three statements are all going to be in if-then form. And then if we know that the first two statements are true, then we know that the third statement is true. And I want to take some of these words out of here. This says if P, then Q. I just took out the words hypothesis and conclusion. This one says if Q, then R. So you'll notice Q is repeated here both times. It's in the then, and then it's in the if. Then in this last one, it says if P, which was our original hypothesis from back up at the top, then R. So we kind of just took out those Q statements and went straight from the beginning to the end there. That's what the law of syllogism looks like. Okay, so this is telling you these are both law of detachment statements. And so we want to use these to make conclusions. So it says if two angles have the same measure, then they are congruent. We know that the measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle B. So if we know that if they have the same measure, then they're congruent, then we could say that angle A is congruent to angle B. That's the conclusion that we can make. This next one says Jesse goes to the gym every weekday. Today is Monday. Well, if we know that Jesse goes to the gym every weekday, Monday's a weekday, so Jesse went to the gym today. Okay, so both of those were examples of law of detachment. Okay, this says, if possible, use the law of syllogism to write the conditional statement that follows from the pair of true statements. Okay, so looking at this, it says if Ron eats lunch today, then he will eat a sandwich. If Ron eats a sandwich, then he will drink a glass of milk. So if he eats lunch, then he eats a sandwich. If he eats a sandwich, then he'll drink a glass of milk. We're trying to take this basically from the beginning statement to the end statement here. So if Ron eats lunch, today, then we know he's going to eat the sandwich. If he eats a sandwich, he will drink a glass of milk. So essentially we were able to take out one conclusion and one hypothesis to get to that leftover statement. If you look at the second one, it says if x squared is greater than 36, then x squared is greater than 30. If x is greater than 6, then x squared is greater than 36. This one's a little trickier. They have switched these statement orders on you because I want you to notice that our matching statements are actually here and here. One is in the hypothesis and one is in the conclusion, so that's important. But if you look at what's left over, what's not underlined, my if x is greater than 6 would be the hypothesis, then x squared is greater than 30 would be the conclusion. Okay, if you look at part C, it says if a triangle is equilateral, then all of its sides are congruent. If a triangle is equilateral, then all angles in the interior of the triangle are congruent. Okay, this one, as I am reading through it, I hear that word equilateral twice. So if a triangle is equilateral is here, but it's also here. Both of those are a hypothesis part. So we don't have one hypothesis, one conclusion. So this isn't one that we can use the law of syllogism. So not possible to make a conclusion here. Okay, for our last one it says, state the law of logic that is illustrated below. If you do your homework, then you can watch TV. If you watch TV, then you can watch your favorite show. Our conclusion is if you do your homework, then you can watch your favorite show. You should immediately think, okay, I see 3 if-then statements taken out that middle piece there. So this is the law of syllogism. Alright guys, that's it for today. So as always, if you have any questions, come in, see me. I will see you in class.